This video started out as a conversation between Zed from Zed Outdoors and I, about 18 months ago, and we were talking about getting together and working on a couple of things. And I thought, if he's coming down, I'll do some cooking for him. So I went back and I had a look at his channel to see if I could get an idea of what he eats. And I looked through his videos and I was left with the conclusion that he's vegetarian. And I eat quite a bit of vegetarian food myself. And I thought, well, what can I do that's really, really simple, that is vegetarian? It's quite spicy, because I think Zed likes a little bit of spice in his life, and that we could do ideally in one pot. Now, my wife is a big fan of Asian cookery, and she makes really, really good Indian. She makes everything from scratch. And I was talking to her about it, and we started talking about dal. It's a staple, and I thought, well, how about if I do a dal? Well, I looked into doing it in 1 cup, and then my wife said to me, why are you trying to do all of that? Why not make it really, really easy? And she showed me one of these. This is easily available. You can get it in supermarkets. It's something called the Spice Tailor, and it's a classic TARKA DAAL, and it's really, really easy to do. Doesn't weigh that much. You've got everything that you need in here to cook up a really, really tasty vegetarian meal. And what's more, you can do the whole lot in 1 cup. Now, I thought to myself, well, it seems like a bit of a cop-out, just an easy, ready done, cook in a cup type meal. So I thought, what can I do to pimp it up a little bit? And I thought, well, what goes really well with dal? A naan bread. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do a damper in the style of a Peshwari naan bread. Thank you. So as I said, the main item in the dish today is going to be the TARKA DAAL. Well, it doesn't take very long to cook at all. So what we're going to crack on with is the damper. And damper, for those of you who don't know, it's a type of bread that we can carry with us on the trail, and it's in dry form. To make it, all you need is 2 main ingredients. The first being self-raising flour, and the other being powdered skimmed milk. Both are items that you can carry with you, that aren't going to go off and don't require refrigeration. The ratios, well, it's 2 parts flour to 1 part milk powder. The way I remember it is I use one of these little folding cups, and if I'm doing a whole mix, it's 2 of these containing flour to 1 containing milk powder. If I'm doing a half mix, then it's 1 full cup of self-raising flour, and there's a little centre line runs around there, half a cup of powdered milk. Now, the joy of this is that you can do it at home and mix up the bread ready to go, and you add the water once you're actually on the trail. And that's what I've done with this lot. So I've got my flour and my milk powder already mixed in there. To that, I've added some raisins, probably about a dessert spoonful, and 2 dessert spoons of desiccated coconut. That's all mixed together in the bag. All I need to do now is mix it to form a bread. So what I want to do next is add my water. Now, in my bag is 1 cup of flour and half a cup of milk powder. I want to add water to it, and I want about the same quantity of water as I do milk powder. So all I'm going to do is fill up to the halfway line with a little bit of water. So I'm going to add my water a little bit at a time into my bag, and you do the mixing in the bag, which is great. It's less mess and it saves on washing up. When you add it just a little bit at a time. You don't want an overly wet mixture, but at the same time you don't want it dry. If you throw it all in at once, you can just end up with a big old sticky mess. So it's just about getting to the right sort of consistency now. What I want to do is take this out of the bag. To do that, all we do is start to turn the bag inside out. So there it all is, up into a nice ball. Now what I want to do is flatten it out into a disc so it's naan bread shape. So I'm just going to flatten it out in my hand. I don't want it too thick, because if it's too thick it's going to take too long to cook. Once it's rolled out to a size that I think is about right, then all I'm going to do with this is place it onto my frame. Like so. And that's pretty much ready to go over the heat from the fire. While we're waiting for the naan bread, and we're going to need to keep an eye on it, maybe rotate it, so to make sure it cooks evenly, and obviously at some point it's going to need turning over. Started heating my oil, and when you open the box up, you've got all the instructions written on the inside of the box. But you've also got 3 sachets. Number 1 is your spice mix, and that's going to go into the hot oil. Number 2 is your sauce mix, and that goes in after the spices are fried off. So with the sauce added to the fried spice mix, let's get that back on the heat. Just add a little bit more wood to it too. We just want it to simmer, we don't want it to catch on the bottom, so you need to keep an eye on it. This stage, something else we need to keep an eye on is our naan bread. So let's have a little check. Yep, and that's starting to look pretty good. What I'm going to do now, turn that one over so we can do the other side. And then finally, you add your dal mix. And the dal, to that you then add about 5 tablespoons of water. And then I'm going to give that a good 10 minutes or so just to simmer down. Obviously at this point I'll also check my naan bread again. It's looking pretty good. Well, that's simmering away, so I reckon we're about done. Check the bread's cooked just by giving it a little tap, and it should sound a little bit hollow. This is a really simple dish to do. It's also incredibly tasty and very, very filling. With the naan bread as well, it makes an excellent dinner item. Just the dal on its own, that could be your lunch. It really is super simple to do, as you've seen, super convenient and super tasty. If you've enjoyed the video, well, remember, hit that like button, and as always, share it to anybody you know. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to get in touch about either anything you've seen in this video, or if you want me to come and train with you, or anything else, then my email address is coming up any minute now. I've been Neil, and until next time, stay safe.